Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 19 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is going to be rabbit, and today is going to be a shoulders and arms training routine. And the theme for today's workout is going to be assisted PNF stretching. So right now, I'm going to be demonstrating some more assisted PNF stretches. Now let's get started. And while we're resting, it is time to continue with the PNF demonstration. And now that we've finished all of the lower body stretches in a supine position, we are going to transition to a sideline position. Whenever you are doing sideline, what you could have the patient do is have them drape their arm around the table. That way they'll be a little bit more comfortable. And for this first one, we're going to be focusing on the lumbar extensors. When we are focusing on the lumbar extensors, we want to get the patient a little bit closer to the table for this particular stretch because we are going to need to anchor our body around their lower limbs. But what we would do is once they are in a sideline position, we would want to take the patient's limbs, and then from this position right over here, we would just go ahead and take the hamstrings and calves, place it around our body, and we would want to just anchor it. Then with the same side arm, we could just hold the legs in place. And then with the opposite arm, we could stabilize them by just placing the hand over the pelvis. And then what we would do is just gently rock toward them until they get a nice stretch. And with the moving hand, what we could do is we could apply a downward pressure and an anterior pressure. So we're pushing down and pulling in. And then to activate the PNF, what we would instruct the patient to do is just press their thighs down into your body. So they would inhale, contract by pushing into you, and then they would exhale. And on the exhale, you would relax, sink deeper into the stretch. And with this hand, just guide them further into flexion to stretch the lumbar extensors. This is a really nice stretch. You could use this either at the beginning of the sideline treatment, or it's also a great stretch to finish off a treatment. But when we are focusing on the lumbar extensors, primarily what we're going to be targeting is the erector spinae group. The erector spinae group being the iliocostalis, the longissimus, and the spinalis. With regard to these ones right over here, the primary spinal extensor is going to be the longissimus. The longissimus is going to be a lot more involved in spinal extension because it's in the middle of the erector spinae group. The iliocostalis is a little bit more lateral, so it's not going to be quite as involved as the longissimus. And then lastly, the spinalis is more with rotation. So the spinalis is still going to be involved, but the longissimus is really the muscle that is going to be getting the most stretch in this particular position. Some other muscles that we are going to be targeting from here is going to be the quadratus lumborum and the semispinalis. The semispinalis and quadratus lumborum are very, very important spinal stabilizers, and they could often get very, very rigid and tight. So a stretch like this would be absolutely phenomenal for your clients and patients. And then some other muscles that we are going to be getting some stretch of in this position, we're going to be getting a little bit of stretch in the interspinalis muscles, the rotatories, and also the latissimus dorsi. The reason we're going to be getting some of the latissimus dorsi is because the latissimus dorsi attaches into the thoracolumbar fascia, and the thoracolumbar fascia attaches to the posterior ilium. So because of the fascial connections, we are going to be getting a little bit of the latissimus dorsi. But definitely, if you have any patients with low back pain or if they're just really tight in any of those muscles, definitely give this one a try. But our rest period is up. Time for set number 3. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.